Would you live in a house that you knew was haunted?
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
Oh, 'tis the week for Thank you for joining us. Even if it's not morning where you are as you're watching this, it is still a mythical morning, and you are still special.
And maybe
for
you're
watching
morning.
this.
Maybe you're morning.
With a U? And we're sorry.
I don't know.
We mourn
Mourning the end of the weekend.
along with you.
You know, the weekend ends.
Let's not make this dark in a personal/emotional type way. Let's make this dark in a spooky kind of way. We're gonna talk about some haunted houses. I'm sure you guys are gonna comment it up about haunted houses that you've been in or plan to go in or purchase. There was this article in the LA Times about this real estate agent/appraiser who would appraise homes and properties where the crap has hit the fan, or where one person has hit another person and that person has died. I'm talking like a murder.
Murder homes.
Where bad things have happened. This guy specializes, what's his name? Randall Bell specializes in setting expectations for how much these people, I guess the survivors,
he is a realtor.
get.
He is a realtor that specializes in listing and selling homes that have stuff has gone down.
That's exactly what I just said. Like the house that Nicole Simpson was murdered in by I don't know who.
It wasn't OJ.
Not OJ. He appraised that. The house where that cult Heaven's Gate, where all of those people committed like mass suicide.
Yeah, my uncle was in that.
This guy, don't lie about something like that. When I do this, you have to act. You have to go that way, like stunt work.
But technically, everyone's my uncle. Get it? I mean, we're all. I mean, you can say that. My uncle was there. Yeah, because we're all related. That was, it was a deep joke.
I'm not even tempted to go down that rabbit trail. The uncle, we're all related as uncle's rabbit trail?
Everyone who's a little bit older than you is an uncle.
Is this what's happening here? You're afraid of being scared by me talking about
I don't want you to talk about the scary stuff.
No, yeah. you like the scary stuff. I'm the one who doesn't like the scary stuff. Listen, the fascinating thing is the values of these homes, this guy's saying, can be decreased by like 25%.
Because something went down there.
Yeah, and I read that the homes around there, up to 80% of the people can just flee. You know, when something happens like that, nobody wants to live around stuff like that. So the value goes down. You can get a killer deal, pun intended, at a place like that. So that got me thinking, I'm gonna look up some haunted houses for us to discuss. If you could get a killer deal on one of these places and move into it, would you do it?
Okay, I'm game.
Now you're begging me to go to haunted houses with you and all this type of stuff.
It's true.
But that's different.
Not asking you to live in one.
Than live in a house. Okay, here's one spooky house you may have heard of, the Winchester Mystery House. Now, Winchester Rifles, you've heard of this guy. When he passed away, his widow was left behind in this house, and she did a seance where she was trying to communicate with him. And she says that he said, as long as she continued to have the house under construction, under renovation, she would live.
Was her husband a contractor?
He was a rifle maker. And she added like 160 rooms to this house. And then it was reported that not only did she communicate with her rifle-wielding husband, but there were secret compartments that she built into it.
I've seen a special on
capture ghosts and things like that.
I've seen a special on this house with the staircases that go to nowhere.
Yeah.
And all this stuff. Yeah.
So it's pretty.
I'd live in that house. I'd live in that house. Yeah.
Because of the architecture.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I love staircases to nowhere.
Scarestasis.
Yeah, scarestasis to nowhere.
Well, I mean, but would you really, as into scary stuff as you are?
Yeah, because I mean,
I think it would get the best of you.
I seriously doubt that anything is actually haunted, first of all. And I think it's kind of cool. You know, you can be like, hey, come to my house. Did you hear about what happens in my house? It's spooky and haunted. And
well, she died. So it obviously, there's a hole in the logic here with her husband and the seance and everything. She was adding on to the thing until she died.
Maybe she stopped adding on and she died.
I might stay in that house because it's cool and there's like hidden rooms and stuff like that. So for architecture, I might be willing to try to put up with the ghost. The Amityville House. however, I think this is off limits to me. I mean, you've heard of the Amityville Horror. I haven't watched the movies, but in 1974, 6 members of the DeFeo family were murdered in the home, and then, like within a year, another family moved in, and then they were haunted by the DeFeos, and they couldn't stay there. They had to move out. I'm sure you could have gotten that one really cheap.
Well,
I like a good deal, but I'm sorry. I don't even know if I believe in ghosts, but just the thought of living in a house where all these people died would constantly freak me out.
Well, I think that this realtor has it all wrong, honestly. Because whether or not I would live in this house, it's kind of debatable. I'm kind of like, oh yeah, it would be kind of cool to have a party. Hey man, I live at the Amityville House. You want to come over? You know, have a party. You know, people could be into that. But I think that there are enough people out there who are in this kind of thing that you can spin this in the right way, that you make it more valuable, not less valuable. Well, you get a bunch of freaks who want to live in a house like this doing a bidding war. This is the kind of thing that should increase the value of a home because it's so unique. You can't, the Amityville House is one house. We're not talking about a country club with 100 houses that are the same. We're talking about one house where 6 DeFeos got killed.
Unless you were a real estate agent / serial killer. Now that's a movie we should write.
Okay.
I mean, it's not something we should do.
What's it called?
I don't want to be a serial killer. I mean, it's wrong. No bones about it.
We got to come up with a really good title for that though.
MLS, something with MLS. I'm going deep.
ML Deads.
I don't know. But you're onto something because the Villisca axe murder house. There, Villisca, Iowa. There was a house.
Haven't been there.
June 12th, 1912, 6 members of the family that lived there, and then 2 younger people who were there, 2 other kids, were murdered with axes in the house, and now they charge admission for you to come and you can spend the night there. See, they've capitalized on the thing.
Right, because it's cool.
But would you buy it and take up residence there? I would not. I mean, even in my own house, especially when I was younger, but I'm not gonna lie, even now, if I'm in my house by myself, my own house, I hear noises and I'm like, I start to, your mind just starts to race and you kind of get wigged out and you just start checking the locks and then you start turning on the lights and
you need to see somebody about this.
You go into, you turn the lights on as you go and I like to keep the lights off because I just can feel the dollars just going away. But when I'm there alone, I'm just turning the light, you could see all the lights.
You think the lights make the ghosts go away? That's a myth. That's a myth.
You played that Luigis Mansion game with the flashlight?
Yeah,
It kills the ghosts, man.
No, but I think that, if push came to shove, well, first of all, I have to consider things as a family man. I've got to consider that I have a wife and I have children. And as soon as my 9-year-old and 5-year-old sons found out that 6 people died in this house. I mean, there would be no sleeping. They'd be in the bed the whole time. They'd be like, Dad, why'd you buy this house? It's got ghosts in it. Even if it didn't. So for that reason, I probably wouldn't do it. But if it was just me, if I was a bachelor, and I had to make a decision, I had an opportunity to buy the Amityville house if it was like in Burbank or something, then because I'm not going to move to wherever it actually is.
No.
Amityville probably is where
you could move it to Burbank.
Yeah, I could put it on like a double wide situation and like bring it down have a guy drive in front of it in a truck with a little yellow light.
It's probably not worth discussing the details because I don't think.
Well, that's how I would get it across the country is one of those double wide trailer things.
You would do it.
I would live in it and then I would charge admission. And then October would be the money month. I would make all the money to pay the entire mortgage every single October. I would move into a little apartment and I would rent it out as a haunted house for the month of October, and I'd be a rich man. Got to think about these things, people.
All right, let us know in the comments what you think. You know what time it is.
Hey, I'm Alex, and this little guy is Garfield. We're from Ontario, Canada, and it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
Are you following the Rhett Link Instagram account? There's all kinds of things happening over there, like Miniature Horse Mondays and Waffle Wednesdays, Fan Art Fridays. Follow the account.
Do you know that the White House is haunted? The Obama said that he feels...
The
Obama feels ghosts gnawing on his feet in his bed, him and Michelle.
That's just a rat, man.
And Michelle has a foot fetish.
Rhett? That's what it's just Rhett.
Really?
Did we have somebody submit an ending that was just Rhett?
I think so. I think they. Whatever.
Hey! Hey! I'm Rhett! Hey, man! My name's Rhett! We should hang out! I live in a haunted house! But in October, I won't be there.
Like I went and took my garbage out at night. My whole family was in the house, and I still felt the need to run back in the house. There's somebody out here lurking.